Hello, ma'am. How are you? How is everything?
Everything is good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's amazing to, connect with you. It almost feels like I'm attending another brand class sitting in SPJM.
It almost feels like I'm sitting for another coffee with Shashank and Sukriti.
Oh, Sukriti would be so glad to hear this because she really wanted to make it. She was like, "Can I join ma'am's interview for a minute maybe?" But she's working from home and she's really swamped, so she cannot join now. But she would have loved to join. Yeah. Ma'am, your voice, I think, is a little low. Is a little feeble.
Let me use the earphones then. Is it better now?
Yeah, much better. Much better.
Okay.
So, ma'am, basically, you already know the agenda and you already know why we are doing this. It's just a catch-up call, and I'm so honored and glad at the same time to be here on a call with you. And we will directly get to the point that so what do you think, how has life changed during this pandemic, and how are you dealing with it? How are you coping up with especially staying at home so much? Has life really changed for you a lot, or is it like still going on somehow the same?
So is it all about me? And how has life changed for me, or
you.
People in general? For me. Okay.
We'll start with you first.
For just for me. Yes, of course, the life has really changed. I mean, some people feel that it's being at home, so they don't know what to do. They have no work and it's boring and all of that. I actually feel it's the opposite for me. Suddenly, my life has become so hectic that it's even more hectic than when I used to go for work, because we are working from home, and this happens to be a peak teaching time for me. And with shifting, we have moved to online classes, and some of the class schedules have shifted. And as a result of that, I'm actually doing 2 to 3 sessions a day. Plus, there are meetings and my own admin role, etc., etc. The way it has changed is that all my support has gone away, which means that I have no help at home, and I'm dealing with an 8-year-old. So I'm also doing all the household work, and it's not easy to go back to doing washing, cleaning, utensils, food, blah, ask me. So it's become very, very hectic, and I realize that I only get to sit at one place with a cup of chai in my hand at about 11:30 at night these days. So that's how life has changed for me. I want to go back because I want a little more peace and a little more order in my life. And not because I'm getting bored. I don't even get time to get bored.
But don't you think you being at home so much has already spoiled, the 8-year-old that you're talking about? And I know him personally also. So he's so cute, and he must be so getting used to you being around all the time. And now suddenly when you won't be, after maybe a month, I'm not sure even if it's a month time or how many months will it take us to get back to life. But don't you think he'll miss you so much being around?
No, he actually asks me every morning, आज आपका कितना देर का क्लास है? So are you teaching for like 3 hours or 4 hours? I hope it's just 4 hours so that I can do what I want. So he's grown up to be, a very independent child, and that's what I discovered during these days. So I'm in class for like continuous 4 hours, 5 hours. The guy doesn't trouble me at all. He'll just come watch and say, okay, she's busy, he'll go and he'll start doing his work. He doesn't need you around, and which I didn't know about him. So he's very happy when I'm occupied. I think he doesn't want people on his head all the time. So he's not going to miss it for sure. Also, he'll go back to school, and then his own life will start. So I don't think he will do that. Yes, but yeah, we both are bonding very differently. Otherwise we are a mother-son who would keep fighting all the time. And Shashank, surprisingly, it's almost like 2 weeks we haven't fought, which is a big deal for us. So I think we both are just behaving because we know that we are stuck with each other. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. But ma'am, okay, so we all know that on a personal level, it's also it's not really bad because we are staying with our families and we are very privileged to have a roof on us, and everything is can be dealt from home. So even I'm working from home and you are working from home and all of that in place. But do you really think that the industry on a whole, and even the placements, if we consider the placements especially, the internships are getting cancelled for so numerous colleges, and the placements might get affected, and the industry on a whole is getting affected. So if you can also shed some light on that is the FMCG industry on a whole going to suffer, and are the students also going to suffer, because you being an accommodation now, so I think the best person would be you.
Oh, it's actually a very difficult situation to be, I mean, all jokes apart, and what we are dealing with, it's nothing. But if you look at from a holistic perspective, I think it's almost like you're living a science fiction out of a book, right? You never imagined. It's one of a life event, which many people don't even get to see in their lifetime. I don't think, when I was asking my dad, who is 70 plus, that, have you ever seen a time in your life, and you've probably lived through many India-Pakistan wars and, turmoils that way, that when the country was shut down for such a long time, and I myself have seen 1984 riots in Delhi, which were huge, but no, even 26/11 in Bombay had not made Bombay so calm for like more than 2 days. It's a very, very difficult time for everybody. I think the entire world has come to a halt. It's something which has shook the entire world. I mean, some people say it's a way of Mother Earth to reclaim herself, right? It's basically her push back to say that she needs her life and everything can go on without us, but we cannot go live about without the mother nature around us. All that is fine, but on a larger level, yes, forget about placements, but there are a lot of people who have lost their livelihood. They earn on a day-to-day basis. They're not getting money for each day. They're not very sure how they will run their families tomorrow. They're not able to provide for the basics for their families because their source of income is everyday work, which they do. They're not privileged enough to have salaries. Even the better-to-do people who run their own businesses, they're not able to do that. So they're also losing on. Many of them have a huge load to pay out, kids to be sent out for education, etc. And I'm sure all of that is, somewhere affecting them psychologically at a humanitarian level. Industry definitely, economy definitely will go into recession. We don't know by when would this be all over. But even assuming that another couple of months, I think it will take about a year or more for everything to come back to track. Psychologically, it would affect people. I don't think we can go back to life the way it used to be, at least for a couple of years. After that, human beings are always, tuned to be like life moves on and something else will come up which will start bothering us and we'll forget about the COVID times. But at least for 2 years, can we still hug the other person without thinking of COVID? I don't think so. Yeah. Can we still travel without the masks? I don't think so. Can we stop using sanitizers all the time? I don't think so. Right? So all that will remain. Economy will be hurt. I don't know how travel industry will recover, how hospitality will recover, and when could people travel? That's some people actually make their earnings by travel, and there could be families who are not staying together. They need to meet their loved ones. I don't know when can they reach out to their loved ones and meet them. On the internships and the placements, definitely they will be affected because there's so much of uncertainty around the entire thing. Many companies have already started putting the freeze on new recruitments. Forget about recruitments, even on the internships, right, which are low stake for many companies. We are in May and post April, May. We don't know when are we going to get back to work. Forget about the new projects. We don't even know what's going to happen to our routine stuff, routine work, and how can we even do the basic which our company is about to do. Shashank, I was just thinking that for the last 5 years, every presentation one would make was about 2020 plans, Vision 2020. Yeah. And the 2020 started with a very different note. And today we do not even know whether we will be alive by the end of 2020. Totally. And which, sometimes remind us of the fact that life happens when you're busy planning something else. We feel that we're in control of everything. Yeah. But honestly, we're in control of nothing. We just do not have control over anything. So that's there. Yeah, placements are going to be a difficult time this year. I just hope that, if we talk about increments, if we talk about high paying salaries, definitely won't happen. I would be happy if all of my students can even secure a good job.
Very true. I mean, yeah, ma'am, it's definitely one of the most difficult times, and I know that, obviously you said something very deep, that life just happens and you're busy planning something else altogether. I mean, yeah, true. Just to make it a little lighter, I just think that, we have gotten to very, very worrisome
Emotional.
and philosophical and emotional at the same time. So what else are you doing? Are you reading something different, or are you binging, or like a millennial on Netflix, Amazon, or something like that? Or how are you spending time especially with your child at home? And how are you engaging him in activities other than just making him study? Because I see my sister all the time, and she's like coaxing my nieces into study this, finish this syllabus and that syllabus and all of it. How are you doing it differently? And as a young parent, how would you suggest
Shashank, I'm as boring as I always used to be. As boring as I always used to be. So I wish I could have got on the reading, and I wish I can show you all the books which I got when we had a lockdown, which I plan to complete. Trust me, I'm not able to pick even one of them, because as I said, my days are maddening and crazy.
But
right?
The weekends?
No, I am teaching on Saturdays, and then on Sunday you have to do your bulk cooking, bulk cleaning, bulk of the housework. It is exhausting. It's really, really exhausting. So all those binge watching and reading and all are all on hold. I mean, I start a new course next week, and I'm only able to manage making a new course outline, adapting my course from an offline to an online. What all can I do? How can I engage my students? So every day it goes into the basic, and you just realize that I had so much to do. I had at least 3-4 research projects to complete, which I'm not able to. I was hoping that I would get so much of time to do all of that work, but it just turns out to be opposite. So television, my young one only watches football, as you know.
Yeah.
So I have no choice left. But yes, we are enjoying Ramayan. For me, it's a memory down the lane.
Yeah.
So I think I was about 8 years or 9 years when Ramayan was telecasted in Doordarshan time. And we used to kind of adjust the antennas before that, and the times have changed. Today when we watch Ramayan, it's in a very different way. And so for me, it brings in a lot of memories of my childhood days, my grandparents, living with my parents, and how my mom would almost impose a curfew at home and say nobody's going to talk when the Ramayan is on, and how my little one doesn't even listen to me and has 101 questions even before the dialogue goes on. But that one ritual we both enjoy doing every day. So we start our day with watching the Ramayan, and we probably end it with that. So that's something I think for him, getting to the roots, because nowadays kids are not so aware of the mythology and the values which come around it. I mean, I'm not so bothered about the mythology bit of it, but there's certain life values which it leaves you with, and I just hope that some of them remain with him. So that's one thing which is different from how the routine used to be. Rest is everything is the same. I am blessed to have a son who is very low maintenance. That way, okay, let's have only khichdi, we'll be fine. You have too many classes to cook anything nice for me. So lunch will only have khichdi, and then you can do whatever you want for dinner. So it's nice to see how your kids also keep adapting and coping up. I think for them, coping up is much more difficult than for us.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can see him on the screen though, very faintly behind you, sitting there, and I'm like, okay, hi Advik.
He may not be able to hear you, because I'm in the earphones. So they have all the homeschooling. Itna yahan padhana pada. Abhi the school has started the homeschooling, which is like I have to spend around 4 hours with him. I mean, I was wondering, my God, was that the only thing left on the earth for me to
do? Right. So, ma'am, so we will now move on to the next segment, which is the last segment here. Of the call, but we'll start with you. And the answers have to be really prompt, and whatever comes to your mind the first.
My God, you always put me on that spot, right?
I mean, I'm assuming it's all fun for you.
I know, of course. With you, Susie, I just do what you ask me to do, right? I still cannot understand why would you like to do this with a person as boring as I am.
No, ma'am, trust me, your fan following goes farther than you really think.
Yeah. Okay, ask me. Let me
Yeah.
try.
The first one. The one stereotype that you believe should not be associated with you.
That women are supposed to follow the social rules of doing the jobs which they are supposed to do. Something I'm a rebel. If I'm told something that if you have to do this, I'll definitely not do this.
Okay, great. So, okay, one value that you're teaching to your son being a mother of this generation.
Respect for everybody, especially the women, and empathy for every human being.
Okay, great. One brand you associate with yourself the most? It can be any brand. And why?
Now that's a difficult question to a brand prof, right?
Yeah, hence.
I actually don't, which is very surprising. Shashank, you've put me into a spot now. Oris.
Oh, okay.
So Oris is a brand of watch and it's very understated and yet very sophisticated. So I think it represents something called quiet confidence. It's confident, it's elite, it's sophisticated, it has standards, yet it doesn't shout very loud. So it won't even be noticed by anybody. And I think that's really what I am.
Okay, ma'am, you have taken me right back to the class. I remember these lines. One current actor you have a crush on?
Nobody.
No, but you like none of the actors.
Nope.
Okay, as an actor,
Crush,
not a crush.
yeah.
Chalo, not a crush, but one actor you like.
Okay, give me some names, right? I don't even remember.
I don't know. My nieces are dying after Karthik Aaryan. No.
At this generation, I don't even understand.
Okay, Ranbir Kapoor, Ranveer Singh.
No. Yeah, I mean, if you talk about the looks, I like Hrithik Roshan's looks. I also like Ranbir Kapoor's looks that way. But if we talk about acting, probably Farhan Akhtar would be somebody whom I like acting. But crush, nobody at all, far from my imagination.
Okay. And if you turn into a man, you wake up one day and you turn into a man, what would you do differently?
Go back to sleep because I don't want to be a man.
Okay. I don't know if that's called being anti-misogynistic or if there's a word for it.
No. I mean, they are good and they're very good in their own way, but probably I cannot think of myself as somebody else.
Okay.
Whatever I would probably like in males, I think I still have that even as a female. So there is nothing which is left to be doing which I would do differently. So better just go, because men are lazy. They generally don't like to do anything. So probably that is what I would also do, is to just go back to sleep.
Okay. Correct. Very correct. One app that you are spending the most time on these days in the quarantine?
Instagram.
Oh my God. Ashita ma'am is on Instagram and I'm not following you, ma'am. We need to connect after the call.
Yes, but I'm more of a listener rather than, so I would look around what is happening. And, I have kind of followed a lot of those good homes kind of pages. So, my hobby is interior design, right? And I like doing all of that. So that's what I have been. So I like looking at different kind of stuff, and I've taken to some kind of painting in my free time. So I would just look at some art, and so I'm looking at Instagram more from like an observer rather than posting anything. No.
Okay.
I've been trying to go through TikTok, which I cannot tolerate. It as a marketer, I'm just forcing myself. I really need to go and see what's happening. It's important when you are a marketer.
Yeah.
But too much of courage required. I think I'm still not there.
But I think one step at a time. You are on Instagram, and that's huge for all the marketing peeps out there, especially from our college. They are like, they would be, your followers gonna go very high suddenly once they find out you're on Instagram.
I am for sure.
One movie you recently watched and loved it. Did you find time?
It can be an old one.
Anything which you watched, or any current movie if you have gotten time to watch it.
I did see Panga, but I mean, it was okay. I would not kind of rate it very, very high. Which was that movie? Ranbir Kapoor and what's that? Deepika Padukone. What is it called?
Ye
When we
Jawani Hai
have an
Diwani.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And I just watched with my son, and I really thought, it has some of these things which are very deep in the movie. And somehow I just liked it. It was a peppy number after a very long time. Some of the songs were very cute. And I thought it leaves you with those, some few lines which are very, very deep.
I'm sure.
So, yeah. So that remains in my memory.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. What are your opinions on passing on the right sex education to your future generation?
Of course, it's very, very important. I mean, they are more aware than we are. Their questions are very, very different from how we would have looked at the world, and at a very different age when you probably don't even realize that they're going to be there. I believe that it's very important to give them the right information because, in my opinion, a lot of problems which happens because of ignorance, because there's a curiosity which is not satisfied at a certain point of time, because kids by nature are curious. And as parent, I feel it's my moral responsibility to give them a proper education. Obviously, it has to be age right when they can understand and process it rightly. But I mean, that I feel is almost like the responsibility of how you teach values. This is some of the things you have to teach them, and be very open to any kind of questions which you get across
Post
from
that. Mm-hmm. Ma'am, so now the last part of this segment, which is being a mom to a millennial. Actually, I would not even say that the kids these days are kids because they are so ahead of time and so aware of how the social media works.
Shashank, not a millennial.
Gen Z, exactly.
Yeah.
How the social media works, how hashtags work. So there's a small quiz for you. I will be asking you 5 urban millennial lingos, and let's see if you know the answers to them.
I would not know, but you can try. Okay.
The first one, FYI.
For your information.
Perfect. TLTR.
Huh?
TLTR. So generally, those long WhatsApp messages, people send you such forwarded messages and you write back to them TLTR. What would that mean?
No, too late to read, too long to read.
Too long to read. Oh, amazing, ma'am. You're doing really good. Okay, HMU.
I knew HRU, but what is HMU now? No, I don't get it.
Okay, it's hit me up. Hit me up.
Oh,
it's like,
okay.
Yeah. TBH. I'm assuming you would know that. TBH.
Nope.
To be honest.
Oh God.
And the last one, TGIF. That's exactly what you'll say tomorrow. TGIF.
It is Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, perfect, ma'am. You have gotten above average scores on a millennial lingo quiz. I'm so proud of you suddenly.
Really?
Because I remember in the Starbucks show, you would not be knowing this. And now I just think that Advik is churning out magic at home.
Hey, this is not Advik. He has a different lingo. I told you he's not even millennial. He's even farther away from that. So his lingo is, his topics of discussion, everything is very, very different. We can do that offline one day. I'll tell you all the kind of questions I'm given and, all the kind of discussions we have. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is like, I think you hear it all the time around you. So I may have just got them on.
Amazing. Ma'am, I think it was lovely chatting with you. It was so great to, have you for a conversation, and I'm assuming these times end very soon. Firstly, the pandemic thing, and then everything gets back to normal. And I would love to, come down and meet you once. And Sukriti also was in Mumbai before the pandemic, so maybe both of us can visit you once, and we will definitely.
And we'll go to Starbucks.
Yeah, and we'll go to Starbucks. Perfect.
How can we not go to Starbucks if Shashank is with us? No?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was great connecting with you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.